This section is on 17.2, which is adding polynomial expressions. So we are going to be doing this in two different ways. We'll start off with the vertical format and we'll finish with the horizontal format. But in the end, you guys will get to pick which way makes the most sense to you and feels more comfortable and easy. So when we add polynomials, it's important to know that you only can add like terms. And like terms means that they have the exact same exponent. So just like in the first section when we would simplify things, we only could combine like terms when they were the exact same exponent. So we'll start off with adding in the vertical format. So for this first example, we want to essentially line them up like how you would in elementary school when you first learned how to add. So I have 5x squared plus 2x minus 1, and I'm going to add 4x squared minus x plus 2. And notice I am lining them up appropriately, like I'm not going to add the 2 to the 5x squared because those are unlike terms. So then I would get 9x squared plus x, and then negative 1 plus 2 would just be plus 1. So that would be my final answer. And if I were to classify that, that would be a second degree trinomial. So that would be it. All right, let's go ahead and try the next one. So I have 3y squared plus 2y plus 1 plus the y squared will go here. The negative 1 will actually go at the end, right? We wouldn't want to add that to the 2y because that's not a like term. So we have 3y squared plus y squared, which would be 4y squared. And then the 2y plus nothing will just be 2y. And then we have 1 and then negative 1. So that ends up being 0. So this would be our answer. And if we were to classify this one, it would be also a second degree, but this time a binomial because there's only two terms. Okay, looking at the next one. We have negative x squared and then negative 1. Now, we might want to change how we wrote this because looking at it, I would have 4x squared, but I can't add negative x to the negative 1. So you have a couple options. I might just actually put the negative x on the outside like that, or you can move over the 1 and put the x on the middle. But what you need to know is that you only can add the like terms. So we have negative x squared and 4x squared, and that would be 3x squared. And then we have this negative 1, and then we have a negative x, and those cannot be combined. But I want to write that in standard form, so we'd have 3x squared minus x minus 1. So remember, standard form is putting it from the highest degree to the lowest degree. And this would be a second degree trinomial, so a lot of second degrees here. All right, and our last one of these using the vertical format. So I have negative z cubed minus 2z minus 1, and then plus, so I'm going to put 2z cubed underneath the negative z cubed. I'll put z squared doesn't fit with these, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the outside. And then I have a 2z, which can go under the negative 2z. So when I add these together, negative z cubed plus 2z cubed would just be 1z cubed. I have negative 2z plus 2z, which cancels out. And then I have a negative 1 plus nothing, and then I have nothing plus z squared. So this is almost done, but we want to put it in that standard form. So z cubed goes first, and then z squared would go next, and then negative 1. So this would be a third degree because we have a third degree exponent, and then this would be a trinomial. Okay, next is adding polynomials using the horizontal method. So in a way, this is kind of just like adding using combining like terms. I have a feeling most of you will like this better just because it's shorter and it's like a little bit quicker, and we all like things that make our lives easier. So what I'm actually going to do is just kind of rewrite this all out as one giant polynomial. So I just took away the parentheses. Now this positive sign, think of it, if I were to distribute this to each part, it actually doesn't do anything, right? So I'm just going to kind of rewrite what I have. If that were a negative sign, that would change all of the signs inside. So now I just combine like terms. So I'm going to put it in standard form as I go. So it looks like the highest degree is 2. So I have a 5x squared and I have a negative 4x squared. So 5x squared and negative 4x squared would be x squared. I have a positive 2x and I have a negative x. So 2x minus x would be x. And then I have a 1 and a negative 2, which would be negative 1. And we want to make sure that's in standard form, which it is, because we go from the highest degree to the lowest degree. All right, looking at the next one. So I just simply rewrite it all across in one horizontal line. The AB, we just keep the same, and the negative a, we keep the same. Okay, so I want to first see if I can combine things, and I do see that we have a negative AB and a positive AB, so that cancels. So then we end up getting a B and a negative A, which we can't combine. So these are both first degree, right? They both have an exponent of 1. So we learned in the last chapter that if they both have the same exponent, how you put it in standard form is actually by alphabetical order. So the proper way to write this would actually be negative A plus B. And if we were to classify this, this would be a first degree binomial. Okay, looking at this next one. So we have negative 6x squared plus 2, and then and really just means plus, so plus a negative 4x squared. So I'm just going to do negative 4x squared. I don't need plus negative 4x squared. So I combine like terms, so I'll start with my highest degree, which is the squared. So I have negative 6 squared and negative 4 squared, which would give us negative 10x squared. And then I just have a positive 2, and there's nothing else I can combine. So this would be a second degree binomial. And our last one here, so we have negative x cubed and 2. And then I rewrite all this, negative 4x cubed plus y plus x. And I'm looking at my highest degree, which is an exponent of 3. So I have negative x cubed and negative 4x cubed, which would be negative 5x cubed. And then I have a 2, a y, and an x, okay? So if I'll just write out what we have. We have 2, y, and x. I can't combine any of those. So then I need to put it in standard form. So I can write this completely simplified. So I know negative 5x cubed goes first. Next would be the x and the y. The x will come before the y, because that's how it is in the alphabet. And then lastly will be the constant. So the number without any variables will always go last. It's a constant. It technically has a degree of 0. And this would be a third degree polynomial. So hopefully we have a pretty good understanding of adding polynomials, but you could always go back and watch it again.